Radcliff Menge's roots run deep in our state, but it was his days as an attorney in New York which led him to found his own line of clothing named after the river where he grew up. From a man with a one-of-a-kind coat to the head of his own outdoor clothing company, Radcliff and his wife are still stocking those warm winter jackets and a lot more, and they're absolutely Alabama. We learned about Tom Beckbe when it was a one-man, one-coat, one-room operation.
We were in a conference room in a warehouse off of West Oxmoor in western Birmingham.
Then a few years later, we toured the Mobile-Tensaw Delta with Jimbo Metter, wearing a cap named in his honor.
Tom Beckbe long bill caps really come in handy.
Here's how it started.
Just a humble lawyer, cold on the streets of New York.
I had witnessed him shopping for a jacket and his frustration. And so I've always encouraged him to, well, if you can't find what you like, go for it. And so it was neat to watch the first one come to life.
Tom Beckbe has now moved indoors with a new location in Mountain Brook, but it's still focused on the great outdoors.
Up until a month or two ago, we didn't have a storefront in Birmingham, but the product assortment was always driven by and continues to be driven by, what are people in this area, what are they looking for both sporting gear and for casual lifestyle gear.
Wife Mary has been with Radcliff from the beginning of both the franchise and the family.
Well, I remember the very first Tensaw jacket very well because it arrived at our home within days of our first son's arrival. So I've always been able to remember precisely that moment because our son came just a few days later.
The Tom Beckbe is the old French name for the Tombigbee River. And we just borrowed it, nobody was using it anymore, and turned them into a person. Based a little bit on my own experience growing up hunting with my grandfather just north of Mobile.
And one day we saw Tom Beckbe as one word and I said, let's separate it, and here we are.
The company's come a long way, the product assortment's come a long way, and it's been a fun last few years.
Well, as we begin to transition now to some cooler days in fall, you may be looking for the perfect garment to wear on your outdoor adventures. I have a suggestion for you. And whether it's a coat, a cap, a vest, a jacket, or lots of accessories, they're all absolutely Alabama.